I mean, I would,
we
in terms of America, I would encourage everyone to read Howard Zinn. Howard Zinn is one of the greatest professors and historians of American history and the race politics of American history. People's History of America, great book.
All right.
I would encourage that. So throwing that out there for anybody who wants to read books.
Yeah.
We had a conversation earlier about like that I was trashing people that don't read books.
Millennials. We were talking about millennials.
I mean, I'm not trying, I technically we're both actually millennials, really. We're
on
just
the older end of
we're the older millennials. So like when I say it's not, it's not a slur. I just know, like, I talk to certain people sometimes about things who are very, they're very engaged, very want to be involved, and have very strong feelings about
like their hearts are in the right
politics.
place.
Their hearts are in the right place. They have strong feelings about politics, and they have strong feelings about gender issues and race issues and class issues, and they're going in the right direction. They just tend to not read books. And I had a conversation, I had more than one conversation with people where I'm like, I can give you a reading list of books. And like, well, do you have a podcast that I could watch instead? Because
here we are.
And so here we go. So I guess we're just gonna, like, I will tell you about the books that I read, because but I also encourage everybody, like, read books.
Yeah, well, I mean, read books.
I know it's nerdy.
It's the Netflix and the YouTube videos that people are into these days, but books are cool too.
I mean, we're old guys. We like paper. I like to be able to, like, highlight and, like, take notes in the margins and that kind of stuff. With a book.
Plus, it looks pretty cool when you show people, like, when people walk into your place and they see all these books.
And you got a bookshelf that's, like, cool to look at. I do have my bookshelf.
Sweet.
You know what I mean? But the point is, like, there's certain things that you don't get out of a podcast or out of a, an NPR interview thing. Like,
you want to flesh out the details to really get a good grasp of the material.
When you really want to get the full story, sometimes you have, like, honestly, like, I was, when I was getting into, I went down the rabbit hole with, like, the oil industry and OPEC and Saudi Arabia. I had to read, like, like, over 1,000 pages before I got to, like, okay, now I get it. I got to the bottom. Okay. But, I mean, like, I had to chase that rabbit down, like, 1,500 pages of books to get to the point where I'm like, okay, I see what's happening here. And so I encourage everyone who has a sense of, political consciousness, whose interest is, like, sometimes you have to, like, really chase the rabbit all the way down the hole, and you read some really boring shit until you get to the point where you're like, aha.
It's armament. You're arming yourself, because if you're going to be politically active and if you're going to care about causes, you're going to be put in situations where you're going to
defend your
you're going to have to defend your views. You're going to find yourself in discussions and debates, and some of these discussions might be with people who you're very close to. It's like you gotta know how to stand your ground. So,
well, also, sometimes your opponents in a debate are very good at being manipulative. They're very good at, like, arguing. They might not know what the fuck they're talking about, but they're very good at arguing it. And it sounds like they know something just because they're good at arguing. So your weapon is to know things and be like, no, that's just not true. That is patently false. And to be able to do that and to be able to cite your sources, you gotta show your work. It's like a math class. You know, I mean, you can get the right answer in a math class, and your teacher is gonna be like, "No, show your work." Like an algebra class or something like that. You know, it's like show your work. You need to be able to show your work.
Yeah, yeah. But anyways,
Anyway, you were
I wanna
shifting gears.